Hey y'all, how's my sound? Can you hear me? Ooh, that was beautiful. I love this like glow of my Sheba light behind me. We're gonna get this framing like perfect, one day. Oh, salud. Anyway, hey, I'm Sheba. This is Sheba Sunday. Thanks for joining me. Seems like the collective has had a lot of stuff to say these past couple days and yeah, moments, hours. Whew. I've had a interesting weekend. Um Yesterday I got to hang out with some awesome friends, some like amazing creative souls, healing souls, very like, people who are just like on the same wavelength, which is helpful because like, you know, I'm just kind of stepping out, doing what feels like the thing to do and trying to enjoy the unfolding. And it's nice to have people who are like aware of that and are doing the same thing to like check in and be like to hold space. It's beautiful and just like not feel so unmoored, know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? um yeah, okay, let me get to it because we're actually about to get some Yemeni food at Queen of Sheba restaurant. I love something that has my name in it. I'm sure Yemeni food is going to be delicious also. And I love my booze in Yemen. Like, they're the ones who are like defending Palestine. Like, pretty much one of the few, other than the Palestinians, who are putting their like bodies on the line. So I love that for them. And yeah, like brilliant people. They know how to like, they know a safe bet when they see it. So, love it. Can't wait to go to Queen of Sheba restaurant. Okay, let's get to it then. All right. Abandonment issues. We've all got them. I feel like, I don't know, I do. So I just assume everyone else is feeling that way and just is not, saying it. So I'll say it for you. It hurts. Ugh. I remember this one time I was like 4 years old, and me and my sister, we would like read a book on tape together, and like I did something. I don't even know what I did, but I was like 4, so I like was mean to my sister in some way, I'm gonna assume. And my dad, like, I was like in my little nightgown, my nightshirt, and he like took me downstairs. He like opened our garage door. We're like fancy middle class people with a garage. And I had my teddy bear, and he was like, okay, you gotta go. And he closed the garage door. 4 years old. And I was like, okay. And I turned around and I was like, all right, I guess I'll like walk to the 7-Eleven and like get an adult. I don't even know. Oh, it's gonna be far. But then the garage door opens, and my dad is like, well, I talked to your mother and she said that you could stay. I mean, parent of the year, folks. So that is an option for how to discipline, guide a 4-year-old Black girl. And you will get this. So, maybe think about that, parents. Yeah, anyway, I remember though that feeling of just being like, I'm alone. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? Like, okay, I guess, well, I like, I feel like I immediately went through like, all right, well, yeah, of course, other kids, are homeless and, might not have parents. So I guess I'll just figure it out. Proud of little me for like her intrepid kind of like, okay, guess I just gotta do. I'm really proud of her for not being like, oh, let me back in. Like, absolutely not. Bye. Like, you don't want me? Deuces. Like, at a young age, I was already like, don't let him see you sweat. Not begging nobody to keep me. So, um, but certainly throughout my life, I've had like, I feel like a lot of whirlwind friendships, I would say. Like friendships where like one day this person, it felt like decided like I was their, best friend, and we would hang out all the time. I would, like be interested in whatever the things they were interested in, and I would just be me, I feel like. And then I feel like I would set a boundary. I would be like, hey, I want this, or hey, I'm tired today, or like just something different than the typical, totally open, down, like road dog, like ready to, like excited to please. Like, what are we doing today? When I'm not like that, I have had the experience of friends like dropping me, like cutting me out, being like, you're a bitch and I've always hated you. And I'm like, whoa, me? Like, and it always feels weird because I feel like I take a long, if someone isn't like if you're not very like explicit, like I don't like you and I don't want to hang out with you, like I'm not gonna get it. Like it's tough for me to take a hint sometimes. I'm like very good at taking on the burden of misunderstanding and just like, being like, oh, this is probably my fault, whatever. And or, taking whatever the person said and like really trying to be like, maybe I was like, maybe that was what was going on with me. Not realizing that like, maybe sometimes people are just projecting their own thing onto me. And they're actually not being very nice to me. And so every time I keep coming back, like, cool, let's hang still. Like, I now imagine like some of those people were like, oh my God, this girl, like, does she even like herself? Damn, she like can certainly take a lot of shit. And that is true. That is very true. Oh, Billy says, crazy. You're the biggest road dog. Great fun, supportive energy. Thank you. It's about the journey, this whole thing. So I like to make it a good time. I like to have it make it a fun time for whatever I'm doing. Or like a enjoyable experience. And I don't know, we can get into it at another episode, I guess, about like why people might be, why that might have happened. But I certainly know the feeling of like like pain and betrayal and abandonment, like from like a friend breakup. And it just feels like, oh, after all I've done, like after all you've known that I've been through or whatever, it feels very like bad. It feels bad. On the like recently I've not been speaking to my siblings, really anyone who isn't like loud about the genocide, who hasn't like talked with me about it, like in a like who isn't excited to kind of like talk about the genocides, like our collective liberation, figuring out like how to get out of this whole thing, like if you're not interested in talking about that, I really struggle to have, energy to pretend to like be around you, and I'm just so fulfilled. Like I'm really proud of the way I've like created a safe space for myself that like it's just very comfortable to stay in it. But like I've had, my mom and, my aunt and of course Billy, lots of people, everyone who, is like, you gotta talk to your family. I think we've been told we have to do this. We got to talk to our nuclear family. We always gotta, and like, honestly, I've been just trying to like figure my own shit out. And so it's hard to have to like pretend for the sake of other people who are not figuring their shit out on a timeline that works for me, you know. Um, I'm someone who, like, when I learn some new information, I like to incorporate it and like go with it. And like not everyone is like that, and I accept that. But also that, like, I'm not gonna like chase people who are not, you know, on the level, unfortunately, which can be kind of tough if you're used to getting me, you know, like I'm down to do everything. I'm like, let me change my schedule and do what this person that I love wants to do and stuff. And I've been really trying to make sure myself is the first person that I'm like pleasing and loving and attuned to. Because I feel like that's, I don't know, it's just like from the collective. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed, I like keep asking myself, like, will this benefit the collective? Anyway, I sent my siblings little texts. I apologized for, you know, having such what did I say? Let me read it to you. It was cute. Okay, so I said, hey, I'm sorry for being so demanding, ungracious, and dismissive of you guys. That was harsh and unfair of me, and I know my rejection felt confusing and really hurtful. And then I sent a gif of Cher from Clueless going, my bad, when she's like driving in the car, you know, and she's like taking her driver's test, and she's like, should I leave a note? And it's like, you know, feels like a very me apology. Especially when I'm still at a place where I'm like, I don't know if I really did anything wrong. Like, I'm trying to figure my shit out. Y'all like are kind of pissing me off just because you like don't know what to do, you know? So, which is like also maybe me just projecting, like I'm mad at myself for not knowing what to do. But anyway, my sister said, all good. Sorry for everything we did to exacerbate it and not trying to fix earlier. Let's work on moving forward. And my brother like hearted all the things. I feel like in my family, we, you know, the women are the ones who like do all the work, like everyone's homework for like smoothing things out and like making sure we all like keep doing this, like, I hate to say like performance of like a happy family, because for all intents and purposes we are. However, I've just realized now, I'm like, I need something like deeper than just an image of a happy family and the like an illusory kind of feeling of happiness that comes from like, you know, ignoring real shit. I have very little energy for it. Okay, what else did I write down here? Oh, okay. And so, you know, I talked to my mom, and because you know, my mom had been wanting me, of course, to make up with my siblings, but I was also like, you know, I wanted to handle it on my own without like my mother keeping, you know, being like, oh, like involving herself in my relationship with two adults. Especially when like I'm also like, mom, I'm also bad at you, you know? My mom is just so capable of so many things. I've talked about this, all these things. And I realized I called her because I was like, you know, it's been a while since I called her, and I know I'm like supposed to call her, but I didn't want to, because I'm like, I don't want to small talk about stuff. I'm like kind of feeling weird about how privileged my family is and how we've like really bought into this idea of kind of an individualistic, you know, nuclear family kind of American type of care. I feel like there's a lot of like bureaucratic apathy involved in it, sort of like a kind of like, yes, this system is not great, but it's much better than it used to be. It's benefited us very well. And so nothing really we can do, you know? And it's like really difficult for me to like engage with that. So I called my mom. She's talking to me about all the little things, you know, and I'm just like, it's hard for me to like even focus on what she's saying because I'm just like, what does this have to do with anything? You know, what is it like? It's just hard to care. And so I was like, I was just kind of, I'm like, let me just go with it, see what comes. And, you know, eventually I get to like asking my mom, like, what would Jesus do? You know? And, what would you do, Mom, if this genocide were happening to me or Layla and Letty? And she said, you know, she would like leave. She would like get us out, I guess. Which is also what my union rep at work said when I was like, what would you do if it was happening to you? She's like, I would like get my family out. I'm like, oh my God, Americans, you're so fucking stupid. You're so stupid. And like, you don't realize like your experience is not germane to everyone else's experience, and it's not going to be like permanent, babes. Like, it's not like, it's dumb of you to think that like, oh, they're just getting themselves, like they should just get themselves out. And like, there's nothing that goes into that. And, you know, I told my mom, I was like, I think if you were, which is also a thing, this is also what I told my union rep, sort of the gist of it. I said to my mom, I think if it were happening to me, like, or Letty and Layla, you would get a lot more creative about what you could do and how you could help end our suffering and like, you know, help. I was like, yeah, I think you would do more than just post a couple of times and then like keep going on vacation. And she's like, you know, no, I'm 75 years old. I deserve to enjoy my life and, you know, live my life. And like, but I said to her, you know, like, I'm hurt that you brought me into this world and now you're just gonna check out and like leave me to it. Leave us to deal with this world that's run by murderers and rapists and like thieves and the most terrible people. And like, you brought me in here and then you're leaving? Your plan is to just like leave and like ignore it? And I told her, you have doomed me. And you have doomed Layla and Letty. And then I had to get back to work. Yeah, I was thinking about it later, and like I feel abandoned by my mom, like on a cosmic sense. She's still here, but she's just like, you know, kind of like unable or refusing to accept and engage with like what is. And it's hard for me to like see that and not be like hurt. And like, you know, I feel like I want my family to do whatever healing work they need to be able to like hold what's going on with me and understand like we got to do something, you know? Or like, you know, maybe like sit tight and like, please like occupy yourselves, you know, like, so I don't have to like babysit you. I don't know. What else did I write here? Obama, the dream killer. I think, like that generation, my mom's generation, and, you know, mine and up, we've all been kind of taught to like think like Obama, sort of. He kind of comes out once a year, and it like he was kind of like billed as this like as evidence of how far we've come and the progress, and that we're free. We did it. I've done my job, you know, and now it's time to teach the children, you know, how I did it, and you know, encourage them to do it like me. And I just don't think that's how we're supposed to do it, especially when I see Obama being like literally lying to everyone, and trying to encourage people to like vote for the guy who is actively committing a genocide, who's like a super racist, who is just a bad person in many ways. And like, I don't like when, Obama's like, he's a good person actually, and this is how it is. It's like, bro, like, how come you only come out once a year to like tell us that change isn't possible? So we have to just like get over it. No. And I feel like a lot of people in like that generation and up, like older people are like very like, hey, this is the way it is. I know it's not pretty and it sucks, but we kind of got to just work with it. And no, we don't. I don't think so. So let's stop listening to them. And yeah, like, love you guys, but you're not serious people. So we're not doing that. This is something that I've been starting to get the compliments out to the people who had donated $50 to that GoFundMe. And also people who I don't even think they knew. I just wanted to like give them some love. Like, I appreciated them donating. Anyway, one of the people I gave a compliment to, responded, and, it said like, lots of things, but it's our duty to do what we can when we can. And that is so true. There's so many possibilities on what we can do that it's like kind of impossible to tell someone which one of these things they should do. I think that's where I'm struggling with my family a little bit. They keep kind of being like, okay, what do you want? What do you want us to do about this genocide? And I'm like, man, I didn't have to, no one had to like tell me like, Sheba, do this and this and this. I just saw what was going on. I like looked around, I researched, I found other people who were like, I don't know, who I thought to like reach out to, who had the information, who were doing the work. And I saw what they were saying needed to be done. And then I saw like what areas were kind of being neglected of those things that other people said, include the Palestinians. Those are the first and foremost that I look to, because they're in charge of the liberation, of their own liberation, and they are going to free us. So I'm like, all right, let me go to the source, and then from there I find all these other people who are working on liberation. And I don't know, I just like figure it out. And like, I think I want my family to figure it out rather than like, like they're like, what do you want me to do? What do you want us to do? And I'm just like, there's so much possible that you could do that it's like impossible for me to like just be like, well, do this one thing and do this one thing. And so it actually makes me sound absurd that I'm like, okay, do this one thing and then it'll be cool. It's like, no, figure it out. It's a suite of things. And I'm unimpressed and dismayed that they're not more proactive about figuring it out, because I don't know what I'm doing. So it's like kind of like, like back to feeling abandoned by my mother. I feel like my mom always knows what to do. When my dad put me out, she was allegedly the one who like let me back in, like she's always been the kind of reasonable one on like how to go forward. And so seeing her kind of be like, well, I mean, nothing you can do, so might as well, let's plan our next vacation. I'm like, that actually is not the right thing to do, Mom. What's going on? How come I don't have my mom to like look to for like where to go forward? And it's scary, and I'm sad, and I'm hurt, and I wish she would make it better. Our friend, the Reverend Carmen, who was on How Billy Sees It recently. Also, Billy, maybe call an Uber, the Wait and Save. Yeah, Carmen had offered this thing that I think is helpful. I want to offer, my family and everyone, all of you, myself, what does little you need right now? Little you, whatever that means to you, teenage you, 4-year-old you before you had like all of the things you have now, all of the tools you have now, like, yeah. What does little you need right now? I feel like a lot of times little Sheba like literally just needs to like express and just needs to ramble and just needs to yap and just needs to like get all of like the stuff that I'm thinking out. And I need someone to like receive it. And so even if it's like just this, even if it's a mirror, you know, which like this video kind of is sort of, I can stare at myself and it's awesome. I love it. But yeah, I think feeling seen is important to me. And not just someone performing seeing me, someone like seeing me. And that's like a very personal kind of experience. So, anyway, what did I put? Raise, oh, yeah, maybe if we're struggling with creating, I don't know if this helps anyone, raise the stakes. Sometimes I say like, what if people will die if I don't release this video, or if I don't share this post, or if I don't, disseminate my ideas on this? What if I die tomorrow without having brought forth this thing? How will I feel? How will Ghost Sheba feel? Will she be like, you idiot? You dummy. That was the thing you were supposed to, and you second guessed yourself? Come on. What's the point? So yeah, now I'm trying to do more like, what would I, at the end, if this is my last day, what would I want to say? I don't know. If that helps release the thing that you've been sitting on, whatever that thing may be. Yeah. So anyway, let me get off this. Last thing I wrote was about like, I've kind of been, I'm trying to figure out myself and how I'm moving. And really, I keep asking myself, like, if it's not contributing to our collective liberation, what's the point? Like, why would I spend my energy there on it? And I mean that with like, activities, relationships, topics of conversation. Yeah, I'm just like, if it's not about like the collective, it's not it. It's not for me right now. Sorry. And yeah, like that's also how I've been releasing a lot of what I release, sharing my voice, is because I'm like, it's not about me or like what I want. It's what the collective wants. And I guess you assholes want me to share all this stuff. So you're welcome. All right. Let's go to Queen Sheba restaurant. About to get some Yemeni food. About to get some lamb chops. It's about to be real nice, I think. Okay, bring your head up to the screen. Put your forehead against your screen, please. I love you. I love you. This is all made up. Okay? It's all made up. I said a bunch of brilliant things, so you should probably incorporate at least one of those things into your week this week. So, yeah, do that. Love you. I'll see you later. Bye.